So, what's this all about? It's about time saving, it's about saving you money, and it's also about getting the kids organised. Because you and I both know that today's kids don't handle books very well. You give them a piece of paper, I'll guarantee you somebody at the end of that lesson will have lost it. Or it's sitting on the floor when you leave. It's all about the students being able to be organised without them having to actually organise themselves. And as I said, the very last line there are no excuses. Now you'll be noticing today that I'm going to be writing on this PowerPoint. Okay, and you also notice I've got my laptop here with the PowerPoint on it as well. And you'll notice I've actually written in yellow on the screen, so actually writing on this my laptop. I'm actually recording a movie right now. So this will be uploaded to YouTube, and you'll get the link somehow. I'll give it to Acle people and they'll send the link out. But you can actually re-watch this, listen to it, and this is what I do in class. If I have a PowerPoint presentation, I can actually record my voice, I can record the students' questions, the whole lot as a movie file, upload it to YouTube, and the kids have it, especially if the kids who are not there on the day. They don't miss out. It's nothing worse. You and I both, kid comes the next day, oh, Mr. Moore, what were we doing maths yesterday? You go, oh, for goodness sake, this is going to take half an hour to go through this. I say, watch it on YouTube. The whole lesson's there. All right. And I can't really see the cartoon there, but it says, where do we go here? Well, here we go again. Did anyone here not eat his or her homework on the way to school? This provides no excuses because you can't lose the stuff. All right. Did it come up? Okay, yeah, here it is. Has it been an easy process? Well, yes and no. It's been a process for me because I've had to self-teach myself. I've gone through this and it's taken about 18 months. And please be prepared. Oops, I've got to put the letter T on the end there. Oh, what happened? Gone back too far. Go back to the previous slide. Too far. Too far again. Come on, back, back, back. Okay. Okay, go forward. We'll get there eventually. All right, you got there? Yes, good. No. A bit of a time delay in the network here. Okay, we'll go back one. That it? Yep, no? All right, stop there. That's what you want technology to work for. Okay, it's taken about 18 months. Be prepared to experiment, because what I'm going to tell you this afternoon is I'm only going to touch the very top of it. You decide how you can use this technology. Okay, I've come to what I can do with it, and students in my own class come up and go, Mr. Moore, we can do something else instead with this. Share your experiences. You have to be the champions of this. If you're a head of the department, or you want to become paperless, or you want to cut your paper load down, you have to be the champion for this process. Okay, you can't rely on others to do it. You have to show others. Okay, now, I've got this model here that's called the SMAR model. Now, basically, anybody who has a laptop or an iPad or anything like that, oh, that shouldn't do that. Come on, go back. Go back. Go. There we go. Anybody who has, geez, I'm doing well this afternoon. Anyone who has an iPad and a laptop, basically it's the substitution or augmentation where you're up to. Substitution basically means you're using your iPad or laptop or something like that to do something else that you could previously done. And for me in maths, it was a calculator. The first thing I got my kids to use, find a free calculator. They all found one. Piece of cake. Got rid of the $25 calculator I had. My next biggest task was to find a graphing calculator, because a graphing calculator costs about $180. Every student in year 11, 12 is expected to have one if they do Maths B or Maths C, which is the algebra type units in Queensland. Why do we have an iPad and then ask the kids to buy a calculator? So my task was to find them something they could use. So I used, which we did, and I'll show you that a little later on how simple it is to use. That's substitution. It's nothing flash, just substituting one thing for another. Augmentation, technology offers an effective tool to perform common tasks. Okay, that's where basic, word processing and stuff like that. iPad does all that type of stuff. What it comes down to, the real good stuff, is the last two sections, the modification and the redefinition. Modification allows students to control the deliver of their learning. Okay, how do they use this iPad? Now, the second half of the presentation, in about 15 minutes or so, I'm going to go through some apps and show you how the kids do this. Basically what I do to my kids is I give them a worksheet. We love worksheets. Kills a lot of time in class. I give the worksheet to the kids, but the kids can then cut that worksheet up on their iPad. So they create their own space, they create their own little text parts, they want to take them from that worksheet and dump it on their iPads. And it does it in about 10 seconds flat. So they can redesign or take the parts they want to out themselves. I give them the template, I just give them a worksheet, a normal Word document, they then pull it apart. The last part is the redefinition. It's no longer the teacher-centred but student-centred. As I said, I'm recording this and the students and I will interact and they know they're being recorded. And they will purposely start asking themselves questions now because they know Emily in the front row is not at school today and they know that she will want to need us. So they'll start asking questions and they actually have started to do that on their own behalf. Now the best part I found is that I was doing a presentation the other day on the birth and death of stars. One student was looking at nebulas, and one student goes, "Hey, Mr. Moore, I just found a YouTube clip on nebulas. It's really good. Can we watch it?" And she just clicked over onto the Apple TV, kicked me off the screen. She went on and she watched this 5-minute video of a nebula. Now, that's redefined. She took over the learning of the class by simply having an iPad in front of her. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to change how you teach. You still are a teacher. But what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to show you how you are going to actually save yourself some time. Now, simple ways to do this. Be bold and get rid of paper notebooks. That's my goal. It's a challenge, believe me. It's a challenge to get rid of something that you've had in your classroom that you've grown up with. Okay, you can do this. Go digital in all of your thinking. Okay? Now, most people have a photocopier here that will scan images and send them to you as an email. Perfect. Because that's what you want. You no longer are going to photocopy paper. Explore the internet for online tools. Since I've gone paperless, I've got an iPad, I've now also discovered this. In the last 6 months, there is so much online stuff there that you can use as a tool, like for example, calculators, statistical stuff. That's all there to be used and it's free. And the last thing, you've got to use a tablet or an iPad. Okay. Now, here are the 3 main apps that I use. The first one's called Edmodo, and I call it a freebie pseudo LMS. And LMS stands for Learning Management System. There's a whole range of them out there. A lot of schools have TAS. There is some people have MyBig Campus. There's a whole range of them. And they're basically what they are is it's just like you log on. It's just like you log on to your internet banking, and all your information comes to you. That pertains to you. Now, Edmodo is free. It comes from America somewhere. You log on as a teacher, and you can create class groups. And in fact, you don't even have to create class groups. It creates a code for you that you give to your students. Say, okay, the code for this maths class is EW1257. They type that into theirs, and automatically you are linked together. And what you can do is you can upload material to them. They can download material back to you. You can set up quizzes online. You can set up assignment submissions online. There's a calendar, there's a diary, all for the students, and it's all free. There's a library. Basically, it's a storage area for students can store their own files. You can store your own files, and there is no limit to how much you can store. Okay, as far as we know, it's an unlimited storage facility, and it's free. Now, we use this with our kids, and this is just a screenshot I've taken off the internet, but I'll go through and I'll get you guys, if you've got an iPad somewhere, you can find Edmodo, you can download it, you can sign in as a teacher, you can join my group for today's. And I've already sent some stuff there, but it doesn't really matter if you don't. The other one we're going to be looking at today is called Notes Plus. It's an iPad app. Now, it doesn't come in an Android version yet, but Notes Plus is basically the best way to describe that. Whatever you can do on a piece of paper in front of you with a pen, you can do on the iPad. As simple as that. Now I've found that most writing apps on an iPad, the writing has to be quite big. Okay? It gets really cumbersome to write. You don't get fit too much on the screen. That on the right-hand side is my writing. And that's only, that distance there would be about 3 centimetres on the screen. Okay? And for those people who teach Japanese, it converts Japanese text into Japanese, into the characters. It'll convert that into typed English. So it'll convert my handwritten notes into a typed form if you want to. It'll basically do anything you want. You can change colours, you can draw diagrams, it actually has a built-in browser, and I'll show you that in a minute. I get my students to create books. They have their maths book, they have their science book, they have their Christian studies book, and every time they walk in the class, they open up the app, open up the maths book, and it turns to the last page they were on. If I said there's a worksheet, the worksheet gets dumped on the last page, the next available page, and they continue writing. They can move the pages around, they can delete the pages, they can correct their answers if they make a mistake. Because what I find is kids these days make a mistake, scribble the whole thing out, cause the disaster. They doodle on they doodle in the middle of the book. When they get to it, they rip that page out. Well, they can doodle here, then get rid of it. But it's an organisational structure. And the last app that I use is the one called Docery. I always call it Dockery, but it's Docery, I think it's called. Now, this is an iPad app, and this is a very, very powerful app. This is the one that I'm now running this PowerPoint presentation through. As you notice, my laptop is sitting up here. I've got a PowerPoint presentation running on my laptop. My laptop is not connected to my iPad, but my iPad is running my laptop here. Okay? That program I've downloaded on here, it's free for 30-day trial. I've had it for 6 months. Touch wood. And what it does is basically it mirrors your iPad. It mirrors your desktop PC, and you can have it loaded on as many machines as you want, and you just choose the machine you want to use for that day. What it then does, as I'm doing this presentation, I'm recording my voice at the same time. So it's actually now just making a movie file of this PowerPoint. Now normally, I don't know what's happened today, but normally what I can do is, now it's doing it. I can dribble or scribble all over this as I go. So if I want to say to you guys, look, as I'm doing a presentation, if I say, look, we're doing a simple cell today, that's a real important feature. Or, we say, look, what colour do I want? I want red. Okay, that part right there. So I'm writing over the top of my PowerPoint presentation. And it's coming up on my laptop, but it's not altering that. It's just creating a movie file. Now, the beauty of this is, when the students who are away in your class miss out on this lesson, they don't. Because when I finish recording, it's just a drag and drop into YouTube. And it takes about 5 minutes or so to render, sends me an email saying, here's the link, and I send the link out to my students saying, here's today's lesson if you missed it. And they will hear the questions because it's just recording everything it's saying. So it's a really, really powerful way to basically get your information across. Benefits of all this. Organisation of students' work. The students' work is always organised. I gave my students, my science class, a glossary. First lesson, here's a 40 words, a glossary. Dumped it onto their iPads, into their Notes Plus. 4 weeks later, I said, guys, we've got to go back to that glossary. Within the space of 10 seconds, every kid had the glossary there. Because it can't be lost. It's sitting there on their book. They knew exactly where it was. You go back, highlight it, they can cut it up, do whatever they want with it. There's no excuses for students not going on. If you use the Edmodo website, there's no excuse for a student who's away. Of course, if there's a worksheet, it's there. They just got to log on. And when you put something there, they get a notification. Mr. Moore's put some work there for science for you. There's no excuses. It's a budget saver. As I said, for under $10, well, the only thing you've got to pay for is the Notes Plus app. And if you're on the volume licensing program, it's $4. If you're not on the volume licensing program, it's $8 to buy the app. And it's less work for you as a teacher. I cannot tell you how much time I have saved with this process of not having a photocopy, not having to worry about have I got enough photocopies, where's the master copy because I've got to print 2 more of. All that disaster just goes. Of course, the kids go, download it yourself, and the good kids have already got it preloaded when they walk into class because they know, oh, it's there, we're going to be using that today. And it's flipped learning. Now, flipped learning is a new word. Basically, the kids already see the work before they get to class. They already know what to expect in that lesson. All right, so that's the end of that little presentation.